Good morning again, everybody. It's Faith here. Second video of 2019. YouTube is never going to ask to hire me because in the time that it has taken me to set up this video, I could have made another book. Anyway, this is a tiny little book. It's made from envelopes that I made for our Christmas, my family's Christmas. We went to the beach in North Carolina, which is not something that we would normally do, of course, but a friend graciously lent us their house, and it was our first Christmas that both of our parents had been dead, so we wanted to do something different, and so I wanted to make a little book to commemorate the occasion. That's the cardinal, of course, on a postage stamp. That is the state bird of North Carolina, so that seemed appropriate. The book is filled with just all kinds of bits and bobs, and especially things that I found on the beach. So let's just take a quick look, eh? I discovered black gesso recently, and boy, is that fun, especially with a good white pen that writes over it. Oh, and right over here, this is from a beautiful Christmas card I got from my friend Mim Stella. We met at an art workshop in Sicily, and she sends me a beautiful card every year. So we were at Southern Shores, which is, I think, in Kitty Hawk or next to Kitty Hawk. There's a lot of places down there now that didn't exist when I was a kid. So the really special thing, which I'm sure a lot of you in the Northern Hemisphere saw, was there's absolutely gigantic moon for the first couple of nights. And we got some interesting kind of atmospheric shots on the beach. And then I pasted in a little map of the Outer Banks. And still the gigantic moon over the water. Not the best shots to show you the moon, but very, very atmospheric. I bought these first day issue stamps from someone here who is selling them at a yard sale, and this is my first experiment with texture paste, which was fun. But the rest of it, oh yes, this was funny. I found this shell, which remarkably looks a lot like the shape of North Carolina, but I think I pasted it in backwards. Some North Carolinians will set me straight, I'm sure. Just otherwise, some stamping and experimenting with colors and textures. We went to the Wright Brothers Memorial, which is a very important place to me when I was a kid because it had my name engraved on one of the sides of the memorial. It was shut because of the government shutdown, but we managed to, like good citizens, just get in anyway. My niece gave me this wonderful packaging, and there's just some stamping, and oh, I love this bird stamp, which has obviously got newsprint on it. And I found this during the trip, and I made him sit on a little piece of driftwood that I found on the beach. More maps, pull-out maps. It's a long, narrow area of barrier islands, and so I wanted to put in some maps. Found some great washi tape of beach-type motifs, and oh, let's see if we can get this one open. Yes, because this, oh my, I've got a problem there. Oh no, now we don't. Because this was made of envelopes, you can open up bits and put things inside. So we have photographs of our beach Christmas tree, courtesy of our host, the tree I mean, and they're stuck in here. Isn't this a cute little tree? It's completely filled with beachy type ornaments and things like that. In fact, the other photograph is this really cute ornament, which is a life vest. So those are super special, I think. And moving on, I try to put these there so they show in the envelope on the other page. That's me and my niece at the beach, and that's me and my sister. And did I put anything in here? Oh, yes. This was our Santa area, the chimney, the hearth. And that's my niece with all of our presents and stockings. And we just moved our traditions right to the beach. More of Mim's wonderful card. Oh, you'll be happy to know we set up an art table immediately. This is actually the dining room table, but for most of the week it was the art table, and that was a lot of fun. It was a great house, and we had a great time there. And there's another little photograph of the art table, and I put in this wooden Christmas tree, and then I found this shell that looked a lot like a Christmas tree, so I pasted that on there. It was my dog's first trip to the beach, Poppy and Ivy. Poppy is the white one, Ivy's the black one. And oh my goodness, did they ever love it. They were running around like crazy dogs. I found this big feather, and I wrote some journal entries on just a few bits and bobs of paper. This is the church that my dad was the pastor of when I was a kid, and the church where I was baptized, and we made a little pilgrimage there the day after Christmas. That was really, really special. I tried to document the food that we made. We made some great stuff this Christmas. This is goat cheese, date, bacon, hot dip that was in the New York Times. Delicious. And then I made these ridiculously great chocolate chunk shortbread, caramel. It had everything in it. Cookies, also from the New York Times. And you can't see it at the moment because this is weighing me down. But I put printed out the recipes and put them inside, so I'll have that for another year. I collected some strange things to use as tassels and dangles and embellishments. This one being my favorite. I don't have any idea who this is, what he is doing, or why he was on the beach. But he's now immortalized in my Christmas journal. Anyway, it was a, bittersweet occasion because of Mom and Dad. So I wrote here that it was our first Christmas without them, and that they endured. That's a quote from The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. Greatest book ever written, I reckon. You Faulkner scholars, let me know. That line used to be the last line of the appendix, and in my current copy, which I dragged out last night, seems to have disappeared. Don't get that. Anyway, another cute photo of Poppy and Ivy on the beach, and a little opening here with a French stamp for Merry Christmas, and I think that is the end. It was a lot of fun. Glad we went, and I'm glad that we carried on in spite of still being a bit grieving for the parents. Well, I guess we always will be, right? But anyway, this is a fun little book to make to commemorate the occasion, and happy I made it, and I'm about to go stick it on the shelf.